Very good evening to you. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Sports Tonight. This is the first session of Sports Tonight for the week, and of course, it will take a look at what happened over the weekend and try to look forward to what we expect will happen during the week. This is a very, very crucial week for Nigerian sports, particularly football, in the race to qualifying for the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations that will be taking place in Morocco next January. We will spend some of the time tonight to look at how the Eagles will be preparing, of course, for the African Cup of Nations. We will also look at the women. Don't forget the Falcons are also getting ready for the African Women Championship that will be starting this weekend in Namibia. So tonight, this Monday, we will have a lot to do in terms of setting the agenda for football in Nigeria, particularly this week going forward. My name is Tony Ibitoye, but starting off the show with me tonight, because it's going to be a show of different parts, of course, being a Monday. Let me start by introducing to you Austin Okonakwan. Joins me on Sports Tonight today, and Austin is starting the show with me tonight. Austin, let me welcome you to Sports Tonight.
Good to be here again, Tony.
Austin is starting the show with me tonight, but later on we'll bring someone in who is so close to the women's game. He will be taking a look at the Falcons' preparation for the African Women's Championship. We will be taking you to Abuja to probably get the coach of the Falcons on the show tonight, Edwin Okon, to find out a few things about the team and get assurances from him about how well Nigeria will perform. And then later on, being a Monday, we will review the Globe Premier League. Toby Adepoju is in the house. Toby was in Ibadan, and he survived the assault, verbal and physical, that was thrown at him. He made it down here, but he will tell us the story of how he survived Ibadan later on Sports Tonight. So we will take a look, we will review the Globe Premier League on the program tonight, and of course, we will look back at what happened as well across the major leagues in Europe this weekend. So you are in for a swell time on the show tonight. But Austin, let me come back to you. October 1 just went quietly past, but we still have to look back at what we've been doing in the last 54 years. You did a report on sports in Nigeria in the last 54 years, did some investigations. Just give us a quick wrap. What have you found sports in Nigeria in the last 54 years since independence?
Sports in Nigeria in the last 54 years, Tony, can be likened to a matured man who had so much money when he was 30, at 35 started playing, lost a lot of the money, became so broke and poor at 45 to about 50. And at 50, this man said to himself, I used to have all of these good things. I used to be respected.
How do I get them back?
First thing first, that's the word. Identification of the problem. How did I lose these qualities? Now I'm no more respected in Africa and the world. And at this 54, all you need to do is get your rights properly so you don't make mistakes anymore. We've gone through a lot in sports in this country, and at 54, if you take us humans, for instance, at 54, you want to live right because you're getting closer to being called by God. So at 54, sports in Nigeria, we want to look back and say, there was a time we were respected in boxing, in table tennis, in athletics. You can't even start calling the names in athletics. Massive, even till date, So where did we get it wrong?
About infrastructure.
So everybody looked at it and said, it has to be administration and infrastructure. That's our biggest problem. If the leadership is right, if athletes can go to the stadium and they know that the right facilities are there for them to train, and build their skills, of course they'll go out there and do well. So it's good to see boxers train. About 25 boxers queuing for one punching bag. It's not.
Anyway, Austin, I'm going to come back to you, but let us also bring you into all that we're doing on the program tonight, because we also need to hear from you. Well, thankfully, this is holiday season. We can use this period to also reflect on sports in Nigeria in the last 54 years. Give us your own opinion. Give us your own thoughts. What do you feel about all these things that Austin has spoken about? You can reach us, of course, via Facebook, the feedback showing on your screen. Well, I'm sure it's going to come back on your screen later on, but feedback. For those of you who regularly watch us on Sports Tonight, you know how to reach us on Facebook, channels, iPhone Sports. And of course, if you want to reach us via Twitter, you want to tweet us, the handles to tweet at channels_sports. My handle is at Tony Ibitoye. So we're waiting for you to be a part of what we're doing on the show. That's it on your screen once again, how you can be a part of what we're doing. Tell us what you feel about sports in Nigeria in the last 54 years. Austin, we also, we've looked back. You were rich at 30, you squandered your money like the prodigal son, but you can always come back to the father.
Exactly, and that's what we're trying to do now, trying to get everything right with administration. Football is going through a rebuilding process. If we get it right, football should come back. Athletics, you spoke to the Director General, Gbenga Elegbele, and he mentioned we need to go back to the school sports. That was how we got the Marion Yalis, the Olakpade Adenekon. So it's important that we go back to the schools and pay attention to talent discovery and development.
I mean, I don't know, that analogy that you gave is very powerful. At 30, you were so rich, and then you squandered your money. Where can we get the money back? Where can you get back to that state? How can you do it? How quickly can it work for you?
Sadly, it's not quickly. That's the price you have to pay.
You have to keep sowing fresh seeds.
The country needs to... You need to retrace, discover where you got it wrong. You know, we're saying these things every day, that go back to the school. You know, these days we were given get that and say, back to the drawing board. No space there anymore.
The drawing board is full.
It's filled up. Every sport, the drawing board filled up. We need to retrace our step and say, where did we get it wrong? By the time we get that right, then we can now say, oh, we lost it at this point right here when we stopped giving attention to school sports. Oh, we lost it right here when we abandoned the national stadium in Surulere for years now. What used to be a national pride just left, abandoned to rot. Nobody is giving attention to it. Oh, our boxers, they don't even have what to train with. For you to even play, why is lawn tennis not big in this country? How many kids can go and afford rackets, play kids and all of that? If we have all of these in place, and of course with the right mentality in terms of leadership, because everything rises and falls on leadership. So if we go and carry somebody that played handball in school, tell the person to come and be in charge of basketball.
Okay, Austin, let's take that report. Austin put together a beautiful, thought-provoking report on sports in Nigeria at 54. Let's sit back, enjoy that report, and then we'll come back for more on Sports Tonight.
54 years of sports in Nigeria has been a bittersweet experience. The country has done well in winning some international competitions and to an extent respected in Africa. But in terms of administration, particularly in infrastructural maintenance, Nigeria has failed. This is the National Stadium in Surulere, Lagos, built in 1972 and served as the main venue for the 1973 All-Africa Games. Since 2002, this building has been abandoned to rot.
And from 2-0 down, Nigeria are level.
In the year 2000, football-loving Nigerians sat in this stadium to watch the Cup of Nations final between the Super Eagles and the indomitable Lions of Cameroon. These pictures will disturb any football fan who has ever watched a match here.
The area where we have problem is the maintenance. You know, as you can see, we are at the National Stadium in Surulere here. Beautiful edifice, zero maintenance. It's been abandoned for almost 5-10 years now. You know, if we can get our maintenance culture together, even though we don't have that much facilities in Nigeria, I think it will help the sports sector a lot.
Despite the problems of infrastructure and administration, Nigerian sportsmen and women have firmly placed the country's name on the map of talented sporting nations. In the 90s, it was Chioma Ajonwa. Today, Blessing Okagbare is doing big things.
During our own days, you know, we have coaches that normally train us. But when you go to National Stadium or anywhere, Unilag or Yabatek today, you just see some athletes trying on their own, you know, coaching themselves.
Nigeria's major attention is on football, and the country has done well in winning the Nations Cup 3 times. Gold at the 1996 Olympics, the FIFA Under-17 World Cup a record 4 times, and dominated African women's football by winning the championship 6 times. But in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and even 90s, Nigeria was respected in athletics and produced world-class athletes. Director General of the National Sports Commission explains the reason for the decline.
At a particular time, we got it right, keep moving up. But at a particular time again, we lost it. Particularly when we ignore school sports, after the likes of Henry Amike, Fadila Tukunkoya, Shidi Imo, Berion Yali, Innocent Buniki, and the rest. After that, we don't have stars like them again.
At this year's Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, Nigeria won medals in athletics, boxing, wrestling, weightlifting, and table tennis. The championship exposed the need for the country to focus on other sports and also invest in talent discovery and development.
If you spend money on athletes, you have results. The Nigerian Commission, the National Sports Commissions, they really tried.
Table tennis was once a popular sport in the country. It has also suffered a decline, but gradually making a comeback.
What we're doing now is we're coming up with the idea of a new national league. We're trying to ensure that, the momentum we've built is not lost. And come next week, I think the best players in the country playing for their clubs this time in a team event.
Mandatory 8 count.
In the late 50s, Nigeria had already produced world boxing champions in the featherweight and middleweight category through Hogan Kid Bassi and Dick Tiger. Today, the sport struggles to win a bronze medal at the Commonwealth Games. Before gaining independence in 1960, Nigeria had already produced world champions in boxing and athletics. Today, the country owns the likes of Blessing Okagbare in athletics, Kelechi Iheanacho in football, Oduayo Adekuroye in wrestling, and Ojo Onoolapo in table tennis. That tells you that there are talents in this country and the future is looking good. If the problems of leadership and administration is fixed, sports in this country will shine again. From the National Stadium in Surulere, Lagos, I'm Austin Okonakman reporting for Channels Television News.
All right, so that's the report, and I think it's a thought-provoking report by Austin, and well, let's wait to see what we will be witnessing in Nigerian sports in the next couple of years. I hope that the investment in youth, as he mentioned, will yield results, and then Nigeria can get back to those glory days in sports.